You're listening to the Lovish Podcast, and I'm your host, Dr. Sita Hood, vision architect and licensed therapist. Each week, I'm going to help you to develop the belief and strategy necessary to make an immediate impact on the world by deep diving into topics like mental wellness, faith, relationships, and you guessed it, love. I should mention before we hop into the show, this is not a substitute for a relationship with a licensed therapist. You ready? Let's get it. Welcome back for another episode of the Lovish Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Sita Hood, vision architect and licensed therapist. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, okay? I am thrilled to talk with you, that you are still here. So let's jump into today's episode. What's in your mug today? What is in my mug is the vanilla sweet cream cold brew with the sweet foam on top. Okay, yes. We're back to basics because we're trying to slim down, honey. And of course, we have our handy dandy water here. Always going to be nearby and on deck with the water. Okay, you hear me? Clearly, y'all watched the Tiny Desk concert. Okay. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. You know which one I'm talking about. Okay. All right. I have a video on my channel called How to Say Anything to Anybody. And it's also on my Instagram channel. And it is using the T method, which walks you through like actual scripts. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about finding your authentic voice before you start saying anything to anybody. Because if you're just hauling off saying anything to anybody without knowing how you actually feel, you're really just regurgitating thoughts that you had or that you heard from somebody else, not really your own original thoughts. So we want you to find your authentic voice and then release your voice using the T method. But before we jump into it, we're going to pause the episode here and have a word from our sponsor for this episode. Got 24K vision? You've got a dream so big it feels impossible to carry alone. You filled countless notebooks, the notes section of your phone, and a ton of random sticky notes. God save the trees. But you still haven't taken action on your big vision. You know that you're here for impact. Money matters to fund your vision, but the real raw transformation, that's what you're invested in. Do you want to know how close you really are to launching your big idea? Take the 24K vision assessment to find out. Click the link in the show notes or down below this video and let's do this. Okay, when you use your voice, it literally shifts the entire course of your life. Now, if you notice, I didn't say that your life instantly becomes perfect when you start to use your voice. No, it does improve significantly, but life is not perfect. Nothing is perfect. However, your world shifts, right? Relationships start to get in alignment. You start to find yourself cultivating the type of experiences that you want to have in life because you are using your voice to articulate the type of experiences you want to have in life. I talk to people so many times that are like, I want to do X, Y, Z, but they never tell anybody that that's what they want to do. People don't know how to read minds. And a lot of times, if you have two people that are not talking and just doing what they feel would make the other person comfortable, then you have two people that are doing what they don't want to do. Does that make sense? If I never tell you that I don't actually like walking to the store in 95-degree heat, and you never tell me that, one day y'all just randomly decided to do it, but it's become a tradition because neither one of you spoke up to say, hey, I actually don't like doing that because it'd be hot as ever. You're not using your voice. You're not cultivating the type of experiences that you would like to have. So we have to use our voice Otherwise, we find ourselves just going along with things. Your perspective shifts when you start to use your voice. When you tap into the deepest part of your voice, then you come to understand how you actually feel about things. And then sometimes you can start to see the world a little bit differently. That's why journaling is so effective, because it allows you to tap into parts of you that you didn't even know were there. And it allows you to uncover parts of you that you didn't know were there. I ask people questions, of course, course, for a living, therapists, but also visionary clients. And in this, I'm asking them questions to create clarity for them, to help like clear the fog out of the way so that they can think clearly and see things clearly. And I tell them when they're trying to answer me verbally, I'm like, I want you to write. And I want you to write because when you write, you give your brain creative freedom. Another thing that improves when you use your voice is your confidence. You are so much more confident in yourself, in your abilities to do a thing because you know where you stand. You've unpacked your thoughts, you've unpacked your voice. And so you don't have to backpedal when you're talking to somebody. When you don't have your authentic voice, then you end up doing what everybody else is doing. I can't tell you how many times I've seen or heard people that are in the influencer space or people that produce content like this or have a podcast or, whatever the case is. They're like, the algorithm, curse the algorithm. And realistically, the algorithm does have something to do with your progress. But in reality, the algorithm, you just have to feed the algorithm. You just have to know how to interact with the algorithm. And if you don't know that, you will feel frustrated and you will just attribute it to exactly what everyone else attributes it to. And I say that because I've never been one to just be like, the algorithm is hiding my stuff. That's not me. You feel like the algorithm is hiding your stuff. Well, do you actually have evidence of that? Do you even know what you're talking about? Or are you just regurgitating what somebody else said, saying your stuff got shadow banned? Do you actually know that? Or is that just what you're hearing? So you're repeating it. And then you get caught up in pointless things. I'm not going to say pointless experiences, but you ever seen somebody get super cute just to take pictures to walk to the corner store? Now, if you're a teenager or like 18, 19, I'm not really judging you for doing that because I used to I didn't take pictures, but going to the store and being outside, that's what I would get dressed for. But some people just get dressed, walk to the store, take a picture, go back home and sit on a couch. And if you over 19 and you doing that, I am judging you a little bit. I'm judging you a little bit, but not too hardcore though, because this is still a safe space. But the reason being, why are you doing that? You have to ask yourself, why are you doing that? Are you doing that because you see everybody else doing it? Because it's what the culture is doing right now. So when you don't have your authentic voice, you find yourself doing things like that. And you get distracted from your purpose or your assignment. And you miss out on the best parts of life that were designed specifically for you to experience them because you're caught up in doing what everybody else is doing. So I am going to teach you the emerge system, and emerge means to move out of or away from something and to come into view, to become apparent, important, or prominent of facts or circumstances. That is what it means to emerge. And for those of you that do not know, the emerge system is part of the visionary blueprint. And I'm going to take a second here and I'm going to show you the visionary blueprint on my screen. So this is the visionary blueprint. You are a bold visionary and you are living a lifestyle of wellness. You are confident in who God created you to be, and you use your influence to increase your impact. Now, how do you live a lifestyle of wellness? Well, you have to live from a place of abundance. That's how that happens. And how do you walk confidently? Well, you have to be your authentic self. You cannot be a person that disrupts generational cycles and you're scared to be yourself. And then you have to have the audacity to shine, not just to show up, but you use your influence to increase your impact because you have the audacity to do it in the first place. So the emerge system is part of this. So when we're on the abundance leg, what I teach you in the system is to craft your vision, to cultivate your principles, and then to command your day. In the authenticity piece, it is going to be to renovate your narrative because we got to change how we think. And it's going to be to release your voice. I'm going to teach you a little bit from that masterclass today. And then it is to revitalize your relationships because that's got to be in order. And then we have audacity. Audacity, I'm teaching you to balance your belief systems, which is where that fear of failure comes in. And then I'm teaching you to boost your confidence. So that is another part that we dive really, really deep into so that you have the audacity to show up, and then we build your system. So before I teach you the Emerge system, we're going to pause here and have a word from our sponsor for this episode. First part of this system is going to be exploration. So first we are going to explore, what do you find yourself paying attention to? What has captured you? What experiences have shaped your voice? What do you find yourself interested in? The second part is going to be to maximize. That's our second part of our system. And maximize, according to the dictionary, means to make the best use of. What is the best use of your voice in this season? How can you be useful? How do you see yourself using your voice in this season? The second part of this system is going to be empower. Okay? Very simply, empower. Consider a time that you used your voice and you felt empowered. What was it that you were talking about? Pay attention to those experiences because those experiences matter. And then we're going to go on to R, which is to revive. Revive means give new strength or energy to, improve the position or condition of. What do you need to revive in your life? What was exciting to you? What gave you vitality and strength? What do you care about? That's what I want you to pay attention to in that step. And then we have generate. That's this step here. Give yourself new opportunities to tap into your voice. Come out of hiding. So many of you are so comfortable hiding in the background, and the background never served anybody well. Come out of hiding and give yourself the chance to tap into your voice. Join in on conversations. See what interests you. Figure out what it is that you love to do. Get into those conversations to discover your opinion. Sometimes it's not until you're talking to somebody that you actually realize what it is you think and feel about a particular situation. And then you're going to embrace. That is the last part of our system here. I want you to embrace your unique quirks. I want you to embrace your flaws. I want you to embrace the unique style of your voice. So this is the Emerge system for releasing your voice. You're going to explore what it is that brought you to this particular point. You're going to maximize. If you could cut this part out. You're going to make the best use of your voice. Okay, again. You're going to make the best use of your voice in this season. You're going to empower. You're going to consider the times that you use your voice and you felt empowered, and you're going to pay attention to what it was that you were talking about. Then you're going to revive your voice. What do you need to revive in this season? What gave you vitality and strength? What do you care about? Then you're going to generate new opportunities to tap into your voice and to discover the true meaning of your voice, how you feel, what you think, what's important to you. And then you're going to embrace your quirks, your perceived flaws, and the unique style of your voice overall. That is the Emerge system. I hope you enjoyed learning about it. And I hope, more importantly, that you decide to use it. So what do you think? Are you going to use the Emerge system? Are you going to share your authentic voice with people? Of course, I encourage that you do. And if you want to know how to say it, how to actually say what you need to say once you've tapped into your voice, again, I'm going to recommend that you watch the video on my channel that says how to say anything to anybody. It's time to talk about what I've been loving. Product recommendations, shout outs to family and friends, and overall gratitude. Let's get into it. Welcome back for another What I've Been Loving. On this week's What I've Been Loving, it's going to be No surprise here, a brewmate, but this brewmate is different because this is the multi-shaker tumbler brewmate. So this is the one for when you're working out. I've been loving this because it is hot. It's the summertime. I've been doing runs outside much more recently. And with me running outside, I love to have the option to have cold water on deck. So that's what I've been loving this week. And another thing I've been loving, I didn't know that the Peloton had an app that you can use even if you don't have the bike, the tread, the row, the weights, all that other stuff. You can just use the app and they have classes. So I've been loving the guided runs on the Peloton. I used to do the Nike Training Club. And so I really just love that. Are you on Peloton app? If you are, let me know. Maybe drop your Peloton name below. Or if you follow me on Instagram, DM me your Peloton name so that I can follow you. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you enjoyed the episode, share the love. Share with your mama, share with your auntie, share with your best friend, and then head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Reviews help the podcast to grow. Well, that's all I have for you this week. I'll see you out in these social media streets. Bye.